about even louder? What about here? Now you should fully be able to hear me. Today we are going to be reading 2020, and we'll be reading a chapter because I am having the worst stomach day possible. You can tell I'm having the worst stomach day possible because I forgot to change the opening title thing. I didn't even have a chance to make it look pretty or anything. Which I pride myself on, and that I apologize for. Shall we? I think it might have reset my progress, which is not very good, but yeah. Welcome in, everyone. My name is Grimoire Index. I realize that some of you can't, or at least are having a little bit trouble with the word grimoire, but you know, it's okay. I believe in you. You'll get it eventually. Today we are going to be reading 2020. Literally, 2020. I think it's the best way to say that. And yeah. Last time we left the story, we were discussing more about the dynamics of the long football game where everybody has a football. But, our two little, I guess, point of view characters that aren't the satellites, they have 9 footballs and are currently trying to escape Georgia. I don't know where we are. Are we here? No, we read this chapter. Well, when I first started surveying the field, I was quietly hoping that I'd find evidence of some sort of kind of large-scale ancient conspiracy. I mean, if all the stadiums were built at an angle and that pointed to the same spot, would everyone have noticed? It seems like a really satanic ritual. Ooh, that's a new one for you. Post-secondary education is satanic. Oh yeah, it's just a school you have to pay for and live inside, and if you're special, you get to work for free. My apologies. Unfortunately, despite my wishes, I found no such conspiracy. In fact, I was kind of disappointed in how few anomalies found in the intersection of these lines. Only got one single goddamn 3-way intersection. You would think that if you had 111 fields. Hello. I hope you're doing well and had a great weekend. I won't talk so much since you want to read. Oh, it's okay. I can talk and read at the same time. Today is going to be a little shorter, so. each which intersects with another field of 20, 30, and 40 times, you'd get more than that. But you could argue that Grambling State might be the weirdest field because they come real close at several points. See, down here in the middle of the Mississippi Sea, Grambling State missed hitting the Iowa-Mississippi intersection about 700 yards, which might sound like a lot, but considering their stadium is 90 miles away, that's a very near miss. And all the way up north, in Oklahoma, a good 350 miles away from Eddie Robertson Stadium, an even more tragic near miss for the Tigers. If only the Texans and the North Texans fields were 250 yards closer together, we would have had it. Hi, Grim. Hi! Don't tempt me or I'll talk all stream. I'll just enjoy your voice and relax. Thank you. But unbelievably, from a far greater distance, they had an even nearer miss. Grambling shoots a beam all the way from Louisiana to Nowheresville, Montana, but it actually misses the BYU UNC intersection by 30 yards from about 1,500 miles away. Ooh. You have to be rooting for the lines to run into each other? Incredible. What's the triple intersection? The one and only three-way intersection is right outside Hillsboro, Ohio, and it barely counts. You can see that little bitty silver where Washington, Bowling Green, and Eastern Michigan interlap. That area is about 2,000 square feet, so like a pretty big house is worth. It's beautiful. But that doesn't hold any tactical significance, right? No! Beep, 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 beep. But some things can, they can just be neat. Didn't say they couldn't. I just can't help but imagine a couple of rule changes that would infuse some more interesting significance. Like if you beep, beep, beep. What is that? Oh God, it's the extraterrestrial alert siren. We finally found someone out there. I can't believe it. After all this time. What? Nah, I'm just fucking with you. Let me see. Who is it? Hello? Hi, requesting contact with the commissioner? Oh, hello! Shh, guys, I got a work call. This is the commissioner. May I ask who's calling? This is, Manuel Baez, free safety from San Diego State. Ah, Mr. Baez, of course. How are you? I'm doing good. As you know, feet are a little sore. Been on the move now. So I've seen. This is quite the journey you're on. Well, more journey to go. God willing, anyway. Indeed, indeed. Good luck to you. What can I do for you? Well, I was interested in seeking a rule clarification. Some years back, we submitted a game plan for league approval, and it was approved. But my teammate and I were reviewing the document we submitted, and we realized there was a very minor discrepancy between the approved version and, what we're planning at the moment. Certainly, let me retrieve it. Give me one moment. Furthermore, adherent to Addendums 203 of the bowling game rules, see document cut it out with this fuck shit, it is understood that the bowling commissioner will not review applications in the following terms, which have ruled illegal, university, irrevocably, and without exception. Automobiles, airplanes, helicopters, jetpacks, motorcycles, four wheels, dirt bikes, electric-powered bikes, yachts, motorboats, airboats, submarines, all AI-driven or pilot vehicles of any kind, remote-controlled vehicles of any kind, trained animals of any kind, rockets, spacecraft, zeppelins, hot air balloons, pedaled aircrafts, or any aircraft of any kind, catapults designed to launch footballs of human beings, trench buckets designed to launch footballs of human beings, cannons designed to launch footballs of human beings. Is that Mangles? Magnals? I've never seen that before. Is it a type of cannon? designed to launch footballs are human beings, mortars designed to launch footballs are human beings, hovercrafts, tunneling machines. Oh wow, he really did think of everything. Whatever that is. Motorized vehicles piloted by a human being, respecting this addendum helps the bold officials and bold commissioner ensure proper rulings and responses time. Sorry. I'm not quite sure how much of this you remember, since we submitted it a long time ago, but basically, oh, don't worry, I'm quite familiar. Oh, don't worry, I'm quite familiar. Shh! Well, if you flip to page 33, you'll see in this relevant section, in the plan, we described using D2, but there's a change in plans, and we would like to proceed with D1 instead. I see! Okay, I'm happy to assist. I'll tell you what. I'll send some relevant rule documents, and we can review them together. I'm sure we can find a solution. Oh, look at this fucking herb. Oh, yes, sir. I'm happy to assist, sir. Lady, I'm at work. Okay. Lol. You have a job? Do you know the fuck I'm talking to this private? I'm sorry for this delay, Mr. Baez. If you would kindly look at Appendix G of the... Bzzz. Wow. I have never seen him like that. He's so buttoned up. I don't even recognize him. I guess he takes the commissioner job. I guess commissioner is a job that he takes seriously. For once. I love the open door policy. Who would have guessed he would have had that kind of relationship with the players? I think I know what he's doing. Every sports commissioner is hated. That's always been the rule. Go to a draft and announce the picks. Show up for a game, whatever, and you're always booed. But whenever something goes wrong, it's your fault. He is trying to counteract that. God, he's trying. I'm a little touched by that. I wonder what the plan's about. Where are Nick and Manny now? I haven't tracked them in a minute. Let me see. They split up! What the hell? Yeah, it looks like Nick continued north on Georgia Tech, and Manny left WKU north on Michigan State. Oh look, they're up in Tennessee. Manny's just outside the Emory Gap, and Nick is up in the hills. Did you notice the scoreboard change? Nope. Nick must have all the footballs on the Georgia field still. Oh, yep. I don't get it. How does, splitting up does anything? Oh, neither of them are moving either. I'm sure Juice knows. Fuck that. Let's try to figure it out ourselves. Well, if Nick is up there in the hills and he's not moving, he must be hiding. And seems like a good hiding place, too. Oh, quick question. Since I'm missing a lot of context, what is the story about? Well, I'm glad you asked. The previous 17775 essentially starts off like this. On the 6th of April 2026, everyone stopped dying. Everyone just stops dying. There's no more disease. The last kid was born, and no other children past this point have been born. Now, as we kind of progress through future, since we no longer age, and we no longer can die, we started to run out of things to do. We created a network of nanobites that will basically heal you from any state that you were in and prevent you from, seriously injuring yourself. And the national game of the, I guess, the continent is football, American football. And we've kind of done away, not really done away with, but we've kind of expounded upon the rules, where instead of it being, two teams in a stadium, it is all of the teams have a ball now. And you have to get the ball to your stadium, which is, across the United States. So it's basically, what would happen if you were immortal? That there was no strife, no war, there was no reason for any of that. And this is from the point of view from a couple of sentient satellites. One of which is helping govern this new football game that is happening in 2020. There you go, 2020. So, yeah. In our current story, since we are in the future now, the entire eastern seaboard is also underwater. I figure I should just say that, but, yeah. In our current story, 2 players of, I think they're from San Diego State, which is normally gated off by water, they were able to play the game. So the San Diego State players managed to get a horde of footballs. And because they got a horde of footballs, they were able to, essentially, what they're trying to do right now is they're trying to get out of Georgia. Now, all of the footballs have, global positioning on them. So this way, the larger scoreboard can see where they are. Now, how the football games work is that as long as people sign up, it's not like the standard, 20 players. You could have, 100 players. You could have 200 players. It doesn't matter, really. I think you only have to have, I think it's 140 actual players, but the regular people that are around the area, so let's say you're a Georgia Tech fan, if you see somebody with a ball, you're obviously going to go tell the football players that are in your state. So, yeah. So right now, Manny and Nick have 9 footballs, and they're currently in Georgia, and they have to get all the way back to San Diego State, which I believe is over water. I don't remember. Sound interesting. I mean, I could listen to you forever in that world, but no, it's really intriguing for what you said so far. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Alright, let me continue because this is going to be a real short one today. Well, that might be all that's happening here. Nick took the footballs and is hiding it out in the hills indefinitely. Manny is roving around various fields trying to gain intelligence and find out where the opposing players are. Then, one day, months or years from now, Manny decides that the coast is clear in the region, and he and Nick take the footballs and try to make a run for it. One guy doing all that scouting? God, you might be right, but it would take forever. Of course, if you're gonna hide out forever, I can't think of a better spot. What is a miserable scrap of land to try and comb through? Yeah? You see those? Those structures just west of the field? Yeah? That's the old Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary. James Earl Ray caught. This was his 3rd attempt at Brushy Mountain. On attempt number 3, he and some inmates shoved an improvised ladder against the wall. The guard at the nearest tower panicked, dropped his rifle, fell against the door, and locked himself inside. He was the only guy who could have stopped them. He conquered man's architecture, and next was nature's, and the mountains crushed them. Across 2.5 days, he didn't even make it 10 miles. They found him laying on his back, too exhausted to move. I remember this. When I first woke up, I scanned my residual memory first, looking for transmissions on what I picked up in the first few years that I was launched. It wasn't until later that I came across who he was and what he had done. At that time, I only thought about the mountains. I was traveling through the universe at 7 miles per second without even giving the slightest effort. I considered what it would feel like to move with difficulty. I was terrified of those mountains. Well, there's certainly a lot to like about them, too. Oh, wow. Michigan State. Michigan State, I get. Huh? You're still looking at this? Yeah, see, their field and Michigan and Georgia Tech's fields don't intersect, and that's a problem. You like this game? No, I don't. There are things about it I like. You like it. Why are you so intent on letting on that you don't? The thing about Juice is, I don't want to encourage him. As game builders, he and I are terrible collaborators. I see things like chaos and eccentricity as ingredients that should be balanced with other components. He wants to make the whole casserole out of them, and I can only say no so many times without coming off as some kind of harpy. He's the fun one, and by default, I'm the boring one. I know I love him, but after all these years, I've lost the desire to encourage him. This game means a lot to him, though. Clearly, it's different. I don't know. What do you think about it? The game itself? I think it's a celebration of the wild outcomes that originate from confines so rigid, so frustratingly letter of the law, that you would think they'd snuff out any remotely interesting outcome. In using the old college fields and the angles they sit along, there's a quality of sleep in the bed you made that you could argue is the story of modern America. In inviting 111 teams and placing 111 footballs on the field, it ensures that it will take a very, very long time to play. It's like watching a star form. Fascinating to see, boring to watch. We all experience eternal lives, and the interminable nature of this game reminds us for a long time is no time at all, which personally is a reminder that I found very edifying. I also think it sucks ass. So tell me what you're looking at. Okay, so suppose Nick and Maddie were somehow able to hop from Virginia Tech's field to Michigan State's, and they take their 9 footballs with them. Those 9 would naturally add to Michigan State's score. This way, we'd see the change on the scoreboard. Of course, Georgia Tech falls out of the top 5 entirely. Consequently, all the other teams here are bumped up a spot, but Michigan State doesn't move, since they were the number 1 team to begin with. But only teams have access to the scoreboards teams only have access to scoreboards that display the number of footballs themselves possess. So, if you're most teams, you'll see this. And if this is all you see, what's your best guess as to what happened? Well, obviously Georgia Tech lost their footballs, of course. And I didn't know how many they had in the first place. 25? 24? No way I can know based on this. It's possible that South Carolina State got them, since they moved up a spot. As an aside, This would also mean that the number 1 Michigan State and the number 2 Georgia Southern are significantly out front, since SC State adds the Tech's footballs to the balls they've already had to only number 3. It is also possible that all of Tech's footballs just fell off the field somewhere. That could happen. We saw that with the guy in the truck. Once he drove it off the field, the ball simply wasn't reflected on the scoreboard. I'd go with that most likely scenario. I feel like I'm playing some kind of sinister Sudoku variant. But the one thing you wouldn't automatically deduce is that Michigan State got them, because they didn't budge. Yeah, it's a possibility, but definitely not the only one. Of course, if you're Michigan State, you're very well aware of what happened, since you get to see your total. So if you're Nick and Manny, Michigan State is going to be looking for you, even if they don't necessarily know who you are, or where on the field you are, but at least they're the only ones who know what's up. Better them than the whole country. Right. Now, this is how hopping over the Michigan State field would provide them with a sort of camouflage. Of course, they would still have to get all the way across the country, but my guess is that if damn near every team in the country sees Georgia Tech just sort of crater over the scoreboard, they're going to send everything they've got to Tech's field just to see if they can spot balls sitting somewhere off on the field. 9 footballs is an enormous take, and a lot of schools have nothing better to do. If that happens, it empties out the rest of the country, and Nick and Manny have a far less difficult time getting home. But again, this returns us to our central problem. Michigan State and Georgia Tech do not intersect. Spartacus Stadium and Bobby Dodd Stadium were built at almost the exactly same angle. If Manny carried the balls across any literal field to get over to Michigan State, the school's field would light up on the scoreboard. Look, Georgia Tech went way down at the same time. WKU went way up. It's obvious to everyone that they crossed. Everyone knows where they're at. They're done. Well, let's open up every possibility. How do you jump straight from yellow to green without using a third field? Let's get some ideas going, no matter how stupid. For example, Nick could throw it to Manny. The fields are 10 miles apart. Right. You can't throw it for 10 miles. That's why I said stupid. Obviously. The option is they just have to try and run it across the table, on the table. But they only have 18 minutes of out-of-bound time saved. It's not possible. Let me go down the list. They can't drive, right? No. It's against the rules. You can't drive anything of any kind. No steering. No bicycles, then. Nope. Can you ask someone who lives nearby to just deliver it for you? No. Non-players are completely forbidden from knowingly interacting with the ball in any way. And no, you cannot strap the football to a trained animal. Okay, clearly the guy in the truck is any indication. Is it legal for a non-ball player to unknowingly transport the ball? There might be something here. Suppose someone works here and lives there. You just slip it into their car, the parking lot, without them knowing, make your way to the other side of the field, and fish it out of the car when they're in their driveway. Obviously, this would require an unimaginable amount of scouting on top of an absurd amount of luck. This seems like it would be legal. Technically legal, but practically impossible. We should ask Juice if that's ever happened. I can't imagine this is Nick and Manny's grand plan, though. Yeah, I agree. I guess you could, never mind. What? No, it's illegal anyway. No ropes longer than 100 feet. It's stupid. Never mind. Oh! You wanna, tie the footballs to a rope that's miles long, and then run to the other side of the field, and then pull it across. I know. like you're reeling a fish! Dragging the balls through miles of wood and street and buildings and everything. A million things for it to get stuck on. And if that happens, you gotta burn tons of out-of-bounds time to get the damn thing. Yes, I know, stupid. Funny, though. Uh, hot air balloon. Unmanned, so nobody steers it. With no one in it? I guess you could, but you'd have no fucking idea where it would end up. Probably in the middle of nowhere. Trying to think of natural forces of some kind. A tornado? Alright, Nancy. Oh, downriver. Just set it downriver. Worked for Moses. Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, that has been done. I've seen it in other games. But in those games, you weren't confined. You could run around wherever you needed to go get it. And it's pretty slow. Kind of dicey. Really easy for the river to dump the ball in a bank somewhere, even if you set it in a canoe or something. Even though, pretty tough to predict rivers. If you aren't positioned right, it could really very well easily get past you, and then it's just gone. Yeah, Nick and Manny have to be the ones to release it and the ones to catch it. I think they invested too many years into this gamble on something like that. Damn. Something you don't have to spear. You know, you'd think they'd invented teleporters by now. Of course, if you'd have to import coordinates anyway, so I guess that's steering. Star Trek was in the 24th century or so. We're in the 200th century. Sorry, 201st century. And the closest thing we have to an intergalactic spaceship is me, Shane. They have replicators, at least, for food and stuff. A lot of good that does me. Hang on. Train! A train? A train is a vehicle. There is nothing in the books that outlaws vehicles, though. Just no steering. You steer a train, though, clearly. You move the switches, you're essentially steering. No, you don't, though. It's automated. All you're doing is firing it up and shoving it down the track. Where it goes from there is out of your hands. Well, which line is nearest to Nick and Men? Already looked it up. It's this one. Oh, it's perfect! Look at where they're positioned. What else could they be doing there? Okay, Manny's right near the track, but what is Nick doing up in the hills? Watching for trains. From up here, he has a good view of Oliver Springs. He can safely watch for any trains coming through the area. Trains commonly park along this stretch too. Conductors will hop off a train and leave it there for days. Next time a train rolls through and parks along the field, he could run down there, chuck his balls on board, and start the engine. So it becomes a ghost train. Essentially, Nick loads it up, shoots it 10 miles west towards Michigan State Field, where Manny is waiting in Emerald Gap. There are 2 switches between Oliver Springs and Emery Gap, and it looks like they're both in the right position, at the moment anyway, but you can't stop it. I guess you would have to make sure it runs out of fuel. He'll have to siphon a lot. He'll have to siphon a lot of it out, probably. Or just punch a leak in the fuel tank. Either way, that's a lot of math to do on their part. That's about a 13-mile trip along the track between 2 fields. And Manny's got to save up every second of out of bound he can. If the train stops even a quarter mile too long or too short, that means Manny has to run half a mile there to get back the balls. Even for someone as fast as him, that's 2 or 3 minutes. He cannot afford to kill that much time. And all of this is supposing the actual locomotive stops on the tech field so that Nick can actually go downfield and rig it up. I don't know. This is crazy. Okay, we're gonna take a quick pause for a second. And I'm gonna munch, I'm gonna crunch. Okay. Just a small crunch and munch. Oh, even though I'm not really feeling well today, I'm happy to be here, guys. It makes me very happy to hear that you guys are enjoying the story so much. I'm enjoying the story. It's very comforting. It's really smart, you know, to put the balls on a train and have the train be, like, unmanned. I think that's really smart of them to do, because I wouldn't have thought of that. But there's also, like, even though they have, like, nano stuff, also, they could be dragged by the train as well. They can put themselves on, like, one of those little push carts and, like, kind of sit on one of the platforms and be pulled by the train. Is that something that can happen? I mean, they're not in possession of the ball. They could ride along. I'm just saying, if they're not in possession of the ball, they can just put the ball somewhere in, like, a carry-on and just leave it alone. It's kind of interesting. But I do want to see what Juice has to say about it. I hope you all are enjoying your Sunday. I hope you're warm and cozy. Or maybe you're cool if it's hot where you are. Personally, I'm looking forward to winter. I always love a good winter. It's nice, it's cozy. There's fireplaces, snow. Oh, I love snow. Snow is the best. What weather is your favorite, my readers? Better to freeze than to sweat, in my opinion. Exactly! Exactly! Welcome back, everyone. Exactly. Exactly. Because you can put on more layers. You can put on so many more layers. But you cannot take off your skin. You cannot take off your mask. You cannot take that off. You are still going to be sweaty, no matter what. But if it's nice and cold, you can always put on another blanket. You can always get more blankets and just snuggle up. And you'll be really nice. Rain is a good one too. Like the nice pitter patter on a delicate city window. As you hear, you know, someone yelling about something and cars honking. You smell that fresh ozone smell. And the rain just comes down. And it's so relaxing. Exactly. Freezing you can manage. Sweating is just sweating. Right. You can't take off your skin layers, so you're gonna sweat. I don't think the runaway train is a viable strategy. Not here. Look, there are so many bends in the track. There'll be no one on board to slow it down. No way to keep it from derailing. It's happened before. Well, yeah, they've been runaway trains, but not here. Right here. This exact spot. Tennessee Central Passenger Engine number 203, by an unknown cause, ran out of the local railway yard at Emery Gap this morning at 5 o'clock at full speed. When the locomotive reached Harriman at 5:03, it was going at the rate of 60 miles per hour. Smoke was pouring from the engine, and while no engineer was in the cab, the big steamer seemed to gain speed every mile. As soon as the yardmen in the Tennessee Central discovered the engine had left Emery Gap, a train was sent in search of it, overtaking the locomotive when it reached Elberton. The engine, no worse off for its run, was hauled back to Emery Gap, in time to avoid further incident. Oh my god. This is it. This is what they're doing. You just hope it finds a way. Alright guys, let's see if it worked. Did we guess right? Yep, exactly right. We did! What did we win? A free copy of my self-published ebook, Wayne Gets the Measles. Condolences to Wayne. Essentially, Wayne comes home for 4th grade one day, feeling under the weather. Alfred keeps him out of school for the next few weeks and tells him no crime fighting until you're better. Without Wayne's shoulders to stand on, his brother Bruce must crawl into the suit and fight crime all by himself. He's awful at it. His cape is way too long, so he keeps tripping all over it. Can't see where he's going. And he dives into the Batmobile. He drives the Batmobile into a side of a Denny's. 1 second. I think my music is... Hold on. Stop that. Actually, that sounds kind of funny. It's not meant to be funny, and frankly, I'm a little hurt that you would say that. Let's talk about something else. When you were writing the rulebook, did you leave this train loophole on purpose? No! I honestly thought I made it illegal. North Westfield runs a train depot in Chicago, and sometime they approached me and argued since you don't steer trains, they're legal. I had no choice but to rule in their favor. Ultimately, though, they couldn't find a way to make it useful. Yeah, it seems like the use cases are a bit limited. This would certainly be the first. Effective use of a train we've seen this game. Nick's a skilled engineer by no question, but I still have my doubts about it. There's so many unknowns. You shove something out there into the horizon, so far off you can't see it. You have no control over where it goes. You just hope that it finds its way. You would know a little something about that. Sure would. Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. Did you all get that, or do you guys need me to read it again? Oh, let me... bring this back. I got most of it. Okay. Basically, yeah, they don't know what's going to happen to the train. they are as Goofy would say, hooked. They are hooked if it's wrong, because the train will crash. Alright, I sent a few files over. You should get them in a minute. Alright. When was the last time you were in Tennessee, Mike? Long time ago, man. Probably 800 or 900 years ago. You should make a trip here sometime. The trees are beautiful in the fall, especially if you can get up high somewhere. You see those big neon signs when you cross the state line? No, not really. When you cross into Tennessee from Tech, you just pass through the woods. So I lived in Georgia way back, and the big thing everyone did was, basically all the fireworks are illegal in Georgia, right? You could get sparklers, but that's about it. Yeah. So everybody would just drive up to Tennessee, where you could buy any fireworks you wanted. It was all legal. And as long as you cross into Tennessee on I-75, you get a sunburn from all the neon signs for the firework places. So it was like a religious pilgrimage. Yeah! I remember this one time, me and my dude, his name was Nick actually, we got this thing that was like a super-powered Roman candle. And Nick was a fucking idiot. And we were on his Porsche, which was like screened in. And he decides he's gonna shoot it off right there and then. Oh no. And I swear to God, when the nanobots detect something is about to really... When the nanobots detect that something is about to go really bad, it's not like normal where you can't really see them. If it's an emergency, you see a cloud of them. Yeah, sure. And you could almost hear them, oh shit, like they're mad. Like they're telling you a cloud shot up from the ground and knocked the lighter out of his hand. Holy shit. I swear those fucking nanos have emotions. Or maybe just one emotion. They get annoyed with you, having to save people from danger for the rest of the time. They should be able to talk. Yeah. Like if you're getting ready to set off a Roman candle indoors, you should hear this big booming voice out of nowhere. Danger! Danger! Idiot is near! Halt, citizen! Warning! You are dumb as fuck! Fantastic interview from the football card company here. Reads like Nixon/Frost interviews. I guess when you issue football cards for the same guy for 2,000 years, you start to run dry. Looks like San Diego State and Grambling State have a partnership or something. That's why Nick and Mike are talking. Yup. Makes sense for them both. Both programs are totally irrelevant on the scoreboard. Grambling has 0 footballs and SDSU only has 1 because no one's bothered to run it across the desert to play for it. Neither program's on anybody's radar. I got him. I appreciate you taking a look. It's good to have another set of eyes on it. What the fuck is this handwriting, man? You write this with your right hand? I can't read that. Can y'all read that? I can't read that. Well, yeah, I'm right-handed. How did you write that? I mean, right-handed. I mean, how did y'all do that? Right-handed, I mean. I don't know. I just do. It's so weird when people write right-handed. Like, whenever I try to do it, it comes up all fucked up looking. Okay, so you've got 500 ton miles of gallon here. And you know that varies a lot depending on the locomotive. And that's only at full speed. Yeah, I figured it was good enough, since I've got no idea what kind of locomotive is going to pull up. And then you have 10 tons per subsequent car, if it's full of cargo. You gotta push it all over just 13 miles, I mean... It doesn't look wrong. It could be more right, but it doesn't look wrong. You're probably going to be looking for a short-haul train, right? On this track, most likely. Just a dozen cars or so? I'm going to pull up some elevation data. Give me a minute. Once again, I enjoyed when the players from opposing teams are pals. This one actually seems like an alliance. Yep. Grambling's the only team that takes SDSU seriously. Nick and Manny hit them up a while back because, unlike a lot of the programs, Grambling actually does the shit they say they're going to do. Right now, they can offer SDU assistance with play calling, which they badly need right now. Grambling has some players who are engineers, mathematicians, and whatnot. Folks who are really useful when you're trying to put together a game plan. Remember though, SDSU is a joke. Almost all their players are players on paper only. And here, look at the OBT on this roster. Wow. Most would have absolutely no time accrued, which means they haven't even been on the roster a year. Like number 26 is on the team unironically. He hates the sport and plays in a retro 14,000s way, rapidly band where the drummer is a rapper. What is rapabilly? I'll let you solve that puzzle. Oh, not rockabilly rap. Christ. Easily the best genre of music. Eternal life and heaven are not the same thing, turns out. Anyway, point is, most of these players sign up As a joke. Sure, new guy asked for hydration. Mm-mm-mm. I do need to get some hydration. Let's see what I can grab. Give me just a second. Having to voice all these characters is so tiring on my voice. I'll be right back. Oh, and thank you for the hydrate. Okay, I have gotten me some water. My throat is buzzy. Oh boy. I do not know how I'm going to do in my vocal lesson tomorrow. My teacher's going to be like, "You're still sick. This is her. She's going to be like, "You're still sick. Go lay down. Go back to sleep. Feel better in the morning. I'll see you next week." Don't worry, it's just water. Anyway, also thank you again for the hydration. Anyway, the point is, most of these players sign up as a joke. Excuse me. As a joke, yeah. Or maybe just to fulfill some sort of dream they had of becoming a football player, if only on paper. Although there are others who do suit up and are fully intent on taking it seriously. They can think they can do it, and for a few years or decades or even centuries they do. But it's like, alright, being a San Diego State player means that in order to actually play the game, you have to run that 5-mile stretch across the desert. And if you're a very well-conditioned athlete, you could make it in 30 minutes. 30 minutes is 1,800 seconds, and you get 1 second of OBT per year. So you need to rate around almost 2,000 years. But hey, in the meantime, enjoy the city of San Diego. I mean, what I meant to say is enjoy this little ass sliver of San Diego. Enjoy the one coffee shop you got. Enjoy the 34 square feet of the dining area of that Thai place you love. It's a great spot. Make friends with the people whose lawns you can legally wander around in. People love it when you do that. Enjoy your stay. Let's touch base in 18 goddamn centuries. So nobody stays. At least somebody with any kind of talent for this game, players, planners, or whoever. Recruiting must be a nightmare. Nick and Manny have a coach, and a couple of rookies who stand around doing jack shit mostly. Still, hundreds of years away from the day that they'll actually get to play football. Who knows how much longer they're gonna last. God, they got nobody. And that's why they need Grambling. This is a pain in the ass. Look at. Oh yeah! That little stretch around Elverton? I was trying to figure out how to use that. It drops about 100 feet there, but it still makes a few significant curves around the stretch. That'll slow it down. What do you think? Man, we're still flying blind here. We can't walk down the track and scout it out. We got no idea the condition the track is in. how much it banks, where it banks. We don't even know what kind of train you're going to get. Going downhill like that is going to give you a little push for sure, but we can't read it anywhere near precise enough for you to make an intelligent call on how much fuel you need. Plan on it, but don't use it, okay? That's the same hill that stopped that runaway train in 1910. No shit? Look. But the train was going the opposite way, but it was steep enough to stop it from going up. You'll figure it'll accelerate pretty significantly going down. What I'm more interested in this little dude at the end here, the big hill when it pulls into Emery Gap. Yeah, that's gonna be my break. I'm hoping the fuel runs out a little before that point, and the train starts coasting, and the hill eases it to a stop. It might. I'm trying to rig it so it stops right before it gets to Michigan State. If it hits the field or overshoots a bit, we can work with that. But the second the footballs hit the field, they're going to see it on the scoreboard. Yeah, I get you. You'd rather let it chill off the field for a while. Let Michigan State notice that Georgia Tech fell down the scoreboard and set their players down to Tech instead of looking for you. Yeah. And once we feel like they've taken the bait, after a few days we'll pick up the balls and run. That buys us some time, and some space at least. I'm trying to park it like 10 or 20 miles from the field. Any more than that, it's just more seconds of OBT Manny's gonna have to spend to run all the way out and get it. We need every second. I know you do, man. But look, you're trying to pull right up to a section of track that is 72 yards long, and you're shooting across more than 20,000 yards to get there. That is like trying to putt a golf ball for more than 100 yards out. But not only that, you're not even allowed to walk around on the green to get a feel of it. You want my advice as an engineer? You can't engineer this shit. Too much shit you don't know. Just get it in the ballpark and hope that you're lucky. Don't use any math you learned from Algebra 1. That'll get you on the dartboard. But luck is the only thing that'll get you on the bullseye. Yeah. You know? Yeah. We just gotta save every second, man. If I miss by too much, it was like a couple 100 yards away from the field, that could be a minute of OB time he has to burn. Manly only has 18 minutes now. It's already gonna be real tough to making that run in Cali. We're already gonna have to run about 5 miles at 3 minutes and 36 seconds a mile. Just take a minute of that off. That's 3:24 a mile. What pace did y'all make it when y'all ran it last time? 3:53? God damn. Y'all have the same amount of OBT, right? Yeah, we both have 17 minutes and 59 seconds, yeah? I think what happens here, and I know you don't want to hear this, but I think what happens here is he takes the hit and you make the run alone. I think you need to get ready for a world where you can make the run and he cannot. I don't do that, man. I don't think like that. What I do is the difference between him making it home and getting ejected. I can't fuck this up for him. I had a nightmare last night where I started the train, I sent it down the track, and I missed by a ton. And he had to spend 5 minutes running down the track to go after it. And they say you can't do math in your dreams. But that's bullshit. Because I knew 5 minutes was 300 seconds. And 300 seconds is 300 years of OBT. 300 years that he spent saving up that time, staying in the field, cooking me dinner, making me laugh, being there for me every time I was fucked up about something. And, like, it was like I could see those years just vanishing from history. Just disappearing, all because I fucked up, because I didn't do the math right, forgot something, guessed wrong. You can't see it like that. When you and your husband took up your vows, I guarantee there was nothing in there being about God. It has never been anyone's responsibility to do what's impossible. It is not yours. You think it's impossible? No. But you don't have all the numbers, so it won't be about the math. Here. Tell me about the prettiest throw you've ever seen. The time you saw a quarterback drop in and you were like, how the fuck did they do that? Well, this isn't one of the best throws I've seen, but it certainly wasn't an even important throw in the big scheme of things. God, I can barely remember what it even looked like. I don't think I've ever seen it since I saw it on TV. It was a Mike Vick throw. So I guess it would have been the year 2000 or 2050. Sometime around then. Whenever he was in the NFL. It's basically garbage time, right? He's in the Eagles at this point. The Eagles are down a couple scores. There's a minute left. The game is pretty much over. It's 4th and long. Vic does all you can do in that situation, which is throw for the end zone. He's got the tight end, Brent Selleck. He's got defenders all over him, but Vic whips it to him. And the thing about the way this ball looked in the air, it was like an optical illusion. On TV, it looked like it was going 1,000 miles an hour. No arc to it. It looked like a bullet. The thing is when they showed the replay up close, it landed in Celtic's hands. It dropped. And all you saw was this close-up shot. It looked like it floated to him. Floated perfectly through all the defenders' limbs, through a window that exactly one football ride, right in there. Touchdown didn't matter. They lost. But it was a touchdown. I don't remember that one. Nah, I bet nobody does. Not even him. You want to know what I'd bet anything on, though? Even if that moment, if you went up and asked him how he threw it, he wouldn't be able to tell you. I mean, yeah, he'd say, I made these reads, and this was my progression, this was the pressure I was feeling on the right side of the right side of the line, this is how much confidence I had in my guy to haul it in. But the force he put on the ball, the motion of the arm, the timing of it, fuck no. He could tell you how he did that. No one ever can. It's not something that you do. And yeah. With this one, you gotta train. You got maps. You got calculations. You're not working with mechanics. You're not working with the mechanics like he did. You're just filling a diesel tank, throwing a few switches. But it's still a throw. You just gotta feel it. Okay, y'all, check it out. I've checked the manifest. We should have a train coming down the track tomorrow. I was thinking we could run a broadcast. Ooh, like a live play-by-play? Yep, this is going to be the biggest thing to happen in the game in I don't know how long. We got to do something special for it. Check it out. I've been building out a cryon package for it and everything. I figure we can stick this in the upper left corner. I like it. Yeah, thanks. And then obviously we can update the scoreboard whenever those footballs leave the tech field. And then eventually we'll put up a big old 24 for Michigan State. Hopefully. You know what might be cool? Is it possible we could get a running clock for Nick and Manny's OBT? Oh shit! Yeah! Is that too much trouble? No, definitely not. Hold on. How about that? And then we could just have the second stick down whenever they're off the field. Perfect. Any guess on how much OBT they're going to lose? Well, I gotta say, I think Mike was right. How Nick places the throw has less to do with how smart or well prepared he is, and more to do with luck. Actually, I think he'll overshoot the field by a mile or so, so I think they're underestimating how far the train is going to coast. Hate to say, but I bet Manny loses like 4 minutes after running it. As for Nick, it's all about where the locomotive is parked. It's never the exact same place. I bet he loses about 30 seconds running up to the cab to start it up. I'll be the optimist then. I say that Nick fires a direct hit, and the train stops right on top of the Spartans' field, and neither loses a second. Could happen. And if it does, we'll have the coverage. I was hoping I could have y'all on the crew. I could run the scoreboard. 9, you're good at tracking data. You want to watch the other teams to see if they move? Got it. And 10, you're always the best at camera work. You want to be director? So wait, I'm sorry. Who is this broadcast for? I mean, you know, just for us. Just for fun. Come on. It's fine if you think this is dumb, but you know how much this means to him. But I mean, look at the graphics package. It's so sloppy. He just took the first layer and squished it out. The diagonal lines don't even run parallel. Who cares? It's just us. I mean, come on, sis. It would make him happy. Okay. Yeah, you know what? That sounds fun. I'll work the camera. Hell yeah! I thought you were gonna say no, but I was like, fuck else is she gonna do? Alright. Lots of teams to track. I'm gonna get started now. Where do I get the data? Here, I'll give you access to all the team logs. Hope this goes without saying, but do not share this with anybody, please. Oh yeah, I promise. Oh shit. So, I can pull up Ohio State. And what it's showing me is that Ohio State has a squad of 41 players that's a little south of their stadium. Yep. And their play call at the moment is to head south and then hang a left to go on UNC's field. Yep. And we know this how? Oh. Game officials have full access to every team's communication logs. It's updated in real time too. This is great. Why didn't you show me this before? Wow. Oh. It looks like ads are getting ready to start. So, I'm going to have another sip of water. Water is so tasty. Oh, and the ads are getting ready to start in 30 seconds, so I'm gonna do a quick little break. Curse you ads, but thanks for supporting Ripmore with the ads. A double-edged sword. Yeah, I honestly wish whenever I'm doing readings I could disable them, but that's something that I think partner streamers are allowed to do. One day I will get there, and we'll have ad-free reading streams. Maybe we could have big sponsored reading streams where you can read from indie authors. I would really, really like that. I want to read more unfiction. I think that would be so fun. There is one particular unfiction that I'd like to read that is a little topical. There's one where if a bomb, not a bomb, if a, what is it? if a nuclear blast were to hit the eastern part of the United States, what would happen? And it's really interesting. In a way, it's kind of like a survival guide. But, yeah, it's pretty nice. As we go into the ads, do you guys think it's gonna work? Do you guys think the train gambit is gonna work? Because they have to get through Tennessee, I believe, and even then, like, it's not over yet. The actual excuse me, the actual kind of leg of their journey kind of starts there, because if Georgia State and Tennessee State realizes that the balls are there. I couldn't listen. Ads are back now. Okay, well, don't worry. I will I'll repeat my question for when you're back. But do you think that they're gonna make it? I personally believe that they will. I think they'll make it. I think it's gonna be hard, but I think they'll make it. My only thing is afterwards. What happens afterwards? Because Tennessee State also has the biggest number of footballs as well. So, if they realize that they have the balls and they aren't baited into going to Tech to see where the balls are, they will inevitably find them. So, I think they will, but something will happen to one of them. Oh, okay. I think so too. I think so too. I'm gonna pop my back because I'm old. I'm so excited. There's so many things I need to show you guys. I've been working so hard. I've been learning Blender a little bit. I'm having crab ragu. I'm biting it every once in a while. It's real tasty. I love the little crab packets. They're very sweet. Hope it's tasty. Yeah, they're pretty nice. They're just little pockets of flavor. They just... I almost got in trouble. I almost said it. I almost said a bad thing. I almost said a bad thing. I cannot be trusted. I'm gonna spray myself with the water now. I've been watching too much planking until failure videos. Oh boy. Bags of what? Huh? Bags of what? Oh no. I'm not. I am good. I am a good vampire, and I'll just leave it there. You know? Alright. Anyway. Oh, you? I don't know until sadly. Well, crab ragu are very juicy, right? So, they are very, They're very excited. They have a nice crispy center, and then you bite into it, and it gets everywhere. And it's not sticky, per se, but it is salty. I'm just being a pervert. I'm being a pervert. Let me continue. Anyway. This is great. Why didn't you show me this before? Well, I wondered why they're heading down there. Maybe they're just kind of going fishing, making the rounds through a few fields, hoping they're running through a team with a football. Wait, there's 41 of them. So they might just plan on shifting through UNC's field in a horizontal line, looking for a football someone has hidden. You figure if the field's 160 feet wide, that's 4 feet per player, looking down and kicking over leaves and stuff. Wait, that couldn't be that. UNC doesn't have any footballs on the scoreboard. What are they doing? This is so cool. Hey, lady. Just wanted to say thanks. I think this game means a lot tonight, and I appreciate you showing enthusiasm for it. Oh, of course. Yawn. 10 o'clock. Yawn. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Come on, pick up. Yeah, you've reached Manuel Baez. Free safety for your trip from San Diego State. Wake up, Jesus! Aztecs and official public notary public. For photos or autographs or reservation, meet me at the 2,400 yard line, southeast of the stadium, on Mondays and Fridays from 2 to 5 p.m. Leave your message at the beep. Beep! Babe, as soon as you get this, we got a train. It's almost perfect. 3 cars. Can't tell what engine it is yet, but it's barely off the field. I bet I can reach the fuel tank. We should go tonight. Call me back. Oh shit. That train is almost as good as they could ask for. Looks like we're going live tonight. You good to go? Yep. Okay, let's start the broadcast at 6 p.m. Eastern. You excited? 2 nobodies are about to set every talk radio show in this country on fire for the next 50 years. Everyone will know something happened, something big, something that will make a lot of people mad and hurt a lot of feelings, and yet they won't actually know what happened. Perfect recipe for lunacy. Yes, I'm excited. Okay. On May 1910, a train mysteriously bolted out of the rail yard in Emory Gap, Tennessee, without a driver. It managed to reach a speed of 60 miles per hour before finally reaching an incline a few minutes away. 8,110 years later, San Diego football is about to attempt the same stunt along the very same track. Thank you for tuning in. You're looking live as we bring you today's coverage of San Diego State versus the world as they attempt to lateral the ball between the fields of Georgia Tech and Michigan State. Bringing you the action today will be myself, Jupiter Icy Moons Explorer. Along with me in the booth is my broadcaster partner, Pioneer 9. Glad to be with you, partner. This broadcast is brought to you by Lunchable Sushi with a crisp cracker, ham roll. With a crisp cracker and a ham filling, you'll know. Fine. We're now joining the action as Nick Navarro gets ready to make the throw. Siphoning diesel fuel out of the tank is Navarro. His aim is to start the engine to give it just enough fuel to stop at Emery Gap, 13 miles away. In this 2,216-year history of this bowl game, I've seen few schemes as ambitious as this one. Looks like he's letting it just spill on the ground. Welcome home, fuel. It looks like he's leaving about 5.5 gallons of diesel. A very unusual call here. Don't think he's gonna get enough zip on the ball. What do you make of it, partner? This train's got 3 cars in it. You figure you're only gonna get 1 mile per gallon. He needs about double if he's gonna make it about 13 miles. He could be hanging his receiver out to dry here. Well, apparently he's satisfied. Before he leaves the cab, he sets the footballs right there outside the chassis. Smart move. If you see the balls are still within the Georgia Tech field. He doesn't want to set off their alarm bells until the last possible moment. Running to the cab is Navarro. He's on the clock for his OBT. He's officially rolling. 9 is the first time he stepped off the field in centuries. He's got to get this engine started as quickly as possible. Every second that rolls off the clock, Jay, that is another second it'll take an entire year to earn back. 10 seconds off the clock now. We'll be following the train as it rolls west. Strap in with us. 20 seconds. This is too much time. 30 seconds. This is getting into dangerous territory. If he kills any more time, he's not going to have a shot to make the desert run in California. 34 seconds gone now for Navarro. This play is turning into disaster for San Diego State. Way too much time in the pocket. He's got to get rid of the ball. What is he doing? I don't know if there's engine trouble or what. What a scene here in Tennessee. At this point, Navarro is effectively taking himself out of the running to make it home to San Diego. And here we go! Navarro jumps off the train, letting it ghost ride. Now he's back on the field. His OBT clock stops at 6 minutes. It stops at 16 minutes and 63 seconds. A crucial amount of time burned off of the clock there. Tell you what, this train is moving faster than I thought it would. We're gonna see if we can give you a picture or something here. 10, can we get a camera on the field tech? On the right? The track? He uncoupled it! He uncoupled the freight cars! Navarro clearly taking the extra time off field so he could uncouple the locomotive. It must have given him some trouble, but what a move! All of a sudden, 5.5 gallons of fuel sounds just about right. Meanwhile, it looks like Georgia Tech has taken notice, and wow, all of the squads are immediately being called back. All of the teams in Michigan, too. Back in Tennessee, the train makes some turns as well as we enter the home stretch. And partner, it's slowing down at just the right time. Wow, what an approach. And the train's coming to a stop. That's only 50 yards from the field. Incredible touch on the throw. Incredible. His receiver is going to burn a few seconds of OBT to go and get it. And now all that's left is to wait for the programs across the country to notice the scoreboard. There's Ohio State. They just saw the scoreboard, clearly wasting no time. There's Georgia, sending a little more than 60. Look at Oklahoma State. They're sending the house after him. Purdue. South Carolina sending 100. 50. Virginia Tech 100. They're all coming. They're taking the bait. It worked! It worked! Jesus Christ, it worked! Holy fuck! Squads are all over converging on the Virginia Tech skills. The whole country is lighting up. And friends, It is not there. It is right under everybody's noses and they have no idea. Friends, this is instantly one of the greatest throws in football, college football history. The locomotive lateral. The locomotive lateral. Aw, I had that in my pocket for 20 years. Sorry. Fuck. They did it! They did it! Oh my gosh! Ah! That was great. They did it! Oh, I'm so happy. So, essentially, if you missed what happened, so instead of having the locomotive pull all 3 cars, he took the extra time to ensure that the balls would make it by essentially uncoupling the 2 other train cars. So he uncoupled the 2 train cars, and that made it all the way to where his buddy is stationed. That was beautiful. Just, mwah, peak. That was peak. Oh. Like, I don't even like football, but man, that was good. Okay. As I said, today is going to be a short one, so unfortunately, despite that being very exciting, and despite me really wanting to continue, I need to take some bed rest? Yeah. I need to take some bed rest before anything else goes awry. Definitely some bed rest, and feeling a little better. Hopefully I feel a little better on Wednesday. We're gonna be playing some Paranormal Sight again, and hopefully we're gonna be doing the good run. Because I don't know, I couldn't take it last time. I was suffering, but 1 hour and 30 isn't too short. Thank you for streaming and have a good night. See you next time. Well, of course, the stream doesn't have to end for you guys. You all can join me in a raid, and yeah, we can go see who else is on that I trust with my community. That's you guys. You guys are my community. Don't look at that. It looks like Undead is... talking about something. Let's go visit them. Thank you all so much for coming today. It's for... Oh my goodness, get some sleep. Get some sleep. Alrighty. Good night, everyone. Good night, you two. See you on Wednesday. Be good. I'll know. Night, you two.